Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope all of you are fit and fine. Now today I'm back again here to take your English literature class. Now today we'll be starting a new lesson. We'll be reading a new story, that is The Trick That Did Not Work. Those who have the books with you, children, please turn to page number 24. Those who have the books with you, please take out your books and turn to page number 24. The Trick That Did Not Work. The Trick That Did Not Work. At first, I am going to read the story and then I am going to explain it to you. Okay? You also please read the story. Reading is very important, children. Please read the story line by line, and after my explanation, if you have got any doubts, any queries, please feel free to ask. I am always there to help you. And listen to the pronunciations properly, children. It's very important. Listen to the pronunciations. See the way I am reading. In that way only you please practice at home. Okay? So let's start. The trick that did not work. The trick that did not work. A pair of jackals become ministers to the king of the jungle and use trickery to keep them under their control. But they do not realize the power of friendship, which was very strong. The power of friendship was very strong. This classic tale from the Panchatantra shows why trying to fool others can be a very foolish thing. Now, after you read the story, you will understand that if you try to fool others, you will end up fooling yourselves. You yourselves will become a fool. Okay, so don't try to fool others. Now, this story is taken from Panchatantra. I think all of you have read the stories from Panchatantra. It's a famous book of high quality. Okay, and it has a great value that will last forever. Now, these stories, the stories which are written in Panchatantra, these stories are mainly written on, animals, and imparting preachers great moral and knowledge. Who has written Panchatantra? It was written by Vishnu Sharma. Vishnu Sharma has written the Panchatantra of collection of fables. Now, let's start reading. A pair of jackals, once again let me read and you please follow. A pair of jackals become ministers to the king of the jungle and use trickery. Trickery means what? They use some dishonest means. They were dishonest. They were cheating. Okay, the pair of jackals cheated the king of the jungle and used trickery to keep him under their control. And they wanted to fool him and keep him under their control. Whom? The lion. The pair of jackals, the two jackals, tried to fool the lion and wanted to keep the lion under their control. But at last, what happened? The two jackals themselves became fools. Okay, so let's start. Deep inside a dark jungle, there lived a lion. There was a lion who lived deep inside the jungle. He was a big, handsome lion with golden mane. Mane, I think all of you have seen. It's what? It's a grow that of long hair is there, okay, on the neck of the lion. And fiery eyes. Okay, the lion had got fiery eyes, means angry eyes. His name was Jung. What was the name of the lion? Jung. And he was the king of the jungle. He was the king of the jungle. Like all the kings, he too had ministers to whom he had listened when he was in a good mood. Like all the other kings who listened to their ministers, the lion also listened to his ministers when he was in a good mood. Jung's ministers were the two jackals, Chalu and Golu. The two jackals' names were Chalu and Golu. They were the ministers to the king. The jackals, especially Chalu, was very cunning. That means Chalu was very clever. They kept the king happy by telling him only what he liked to hear, and they agreed with everything he said. That means, see, the two jackals were so cunning. They were so clever. They always used to try to please the lion by saying good things to him. Okay, and they would always agree to what the lion said. In this way, they tried to keep the lion happy. They sang his praises and told him that he was the bravest and the strongest king on earth. They always tried to please Chang, means the lion, who the two jackals always tried to keep Chang happy by telling good things and by saying that Chang was the bravest and the strongest king on earth. Naturally, the king believed that his ministers were faithful and loyal, and that's why the king was also very happy to hear all these things and thought his ministers were very faithful and loyal. They were trustworthy. He thought he was lucky to have such wise ministers, so he looked after them, fed them, and took them along wherever he went. So, Chang also loved his ministers and he used to take care of them. He used to give them food also, and he used to take them wherever he used to go. The jackals hardly did any work. That means the jackals did not have to do any work. They do not have to fight their enemies to protect themselves, nor did they have to hunt for food like the other animals. That means the jackals did not have to find their food because Chang was already there to take care of them. That's why they did not take any headache. They did not worry because they knew Chang was there to provide them with their food. They grew fat on whatever Chang killed. Whatever animals Chang used to kill, they used to have their share on them. Soon they became very arrogant and did not allow any other animal to come near the lion or become friendly with him. Soon what happened? The two jackals became very proud of themselves and they thought they were the only close people of Chang, and they did not allow any other animals to come near Chang. One day Chang was at the river for a drink when he heard an animal bellow. What happened one day? One day Chang went to the river to drink some water, and there he heard an animal bellow. What is bellow? See, it's written there. The loud sound made by an animal. When an animal makes a loud sound, it is known as bellow. So Chang heard an animal bellow. It was so loud that the whole jungle echoed with the sound and startled the lion. There was an echo in the whole jungle. The noise was so loud and the lion got frightened. He had never heard anything like it before. Never before he had heard anything like this. In fact, he had rarely heard the call of other animals, since they were all scared of him and stayed as far away from him as possible. There were no sound of other animals also in the jungle, since all of them were scared of Chang and they stayed away from Chang. So who made the noise? Thought the lion. Frightened by the sound, he went rushing back to his den. Now see, Chang got frightened. The king of the jungle got frightened and went back to his den. Pale with fear, he was faded with fear. He became pale from fear. His ministers were surprised to see the king trembling with fear and wanted to know what had happened. See what happened? The ministers got surprised that the king of the jungle was trembling with fear, was shaking with fear, and wanted to know. They were also curious to know what had happened. At first, Chang would not tell them anything. Chang did not tell them anything. He was ashamed to let them know that he, the king of the jungle, was afraid of a noise. The king of the jungle was afraid of a noise. He was very ashamed to let this know to the ministers, means Chalu and Golu. But the next day, the same thing happened. Next day, when again the lion went to the river for drink, again he heard the same sound. Then Jung called his ministers and told them that he had decided to leave the jungle and go away. Now Jung decided that he is not going to live in the jungle and he want to go somewhere else. And he told this to the two ministers. Chalu and Golu were very disappointed to hear this. What would happen to them if the lion went away? What will happen to them if the lion goes away? They were very sad to hear this. They would have to work to find their food and would have to live in fear of other animals. So they could not let the lion go to the jungle. If lion goes away, then they will have to make their own food. They will have to protect themselves. So they did not want to let the lion go. They begged and pleaded with Jung till he told them that he had been frightened by a terrible sound. The two jackals were continuously asking lion what happened, and at last the lion told them that he was being frightened by an animal below. It could only belong to a strong beast who feared no one else in the jungle. Now the lion thought that it was the sound of an animal who is a dangerous animal who feared no one else in the forest, who did not fear anyone in the forest. That particular animal was making the noise. But what animal can be? It. Hearing this, the two jackals smiled to themselves, for they knew that there could be no animal in the jungle stronger than the lion. The lion was acting foolishly. But the two jackals know that there could be no animal in the jungle that was more powerful than the lion. They thought that Jung was very foolish. They thought that Jung was acting very foolishly. Just because the animal had made a loud noise, it did not mean that it was more powerful than the lion. They thought that the animal made a loud noise. Okay, fine. But that does not mean that the animal was more powerful than the lion. But this they did not say to the lion. Instead, Chalu said that he would go and find out more about that animal. Now Chalu decided that he will go and find out who that animal was. What if the beast kills you? Asked Jung. Now Jung was worried about his ministers, that what happened if you go there and if the beast kills you, what will happen? To this Chalu replied craftily. Chalu replied very cleverly. A faithful servant is not afraid of losing his life in the service of his master. Now what did the minister say? What did Chalu say? That I am your faithful servant, and if I lose my life also for you, it will be a great thing for me. And after hearing this, the king was very pleased. Lion was very pleased with this and replied Chalu with Golu in tow, went off towards the river. Now both of them, Chalu and Golu, went to find about the animal towards the river. To their surprise, the jackals found that the animal that had frightened the lion was a big bull who had lost his way in the jungle. Who was the animal that was making the noise? The animal was a big bull. It was not a very harmful or dangerous animal. It was only a big bull. But the big bull was crying out loudly because he had lost his way in the jungle. That's why he was crying out so loudly. Chalu scolded the animal for making so much noise and disturbing the king of the jungle. Now Chalu went to the bull and scolded the animal and said that your noise is disturbing our king. The bull became quiet immediately after hearing this. The bull became quiet. Obviously, the lion is the king of the jungle and he cannot disturb the king of the jungle. So the bull became quiet. He told Chalu that he did not know his way around. Now, the bull said them that he lost his way to the jungle and he was willing to go and tell the king that he was sorry for annoying him. And at the same time, he decided to go to Jung and apologize for his behavior. But he first wanted the king to promise not to harm him. But he said that the king cannot punish me. The king cannot harm me for my noise which I had made, because I made the noise because I have lost my way in the jungle. That's why I was crying out so loudly. The jackals told the bull to wait right there, and off they went to Jung and told him that the creature that was making all the noise was only a bull. Now the two jackals went to Jung and told that it was a bull. It was not any harmful animal. But the bull was no ordinary bull. Now this is something which they made up stories and said to Jung. What did the two jackals say? That the bull was no ordinary bull. Please listen carefully. He was a messenger of the gods. The bull was the messenger of the gods. That means who carries messages of the gods. And the gods themselves had granted him permission to roam wherever he pleased. And the gods have given him permission to roam wherever he pleased. So, the bull was roaming in the jungle. To whom did the jackal say this? To Jung. Ah, I should have known, cried Jung. Now Jung said, yes, I must have known this, that no animal cannot be more powerful than me in the jungle. It was clear from his loud and fearless bellowing that he had extraordinary powers. Now what did Jung say? That after hearing his noise, I have understood that it was something extraordinary. It had some extraordinary powers. What should I do now? Now the Jung is asking his ministers that what should I do now? The cunning Chalu replied, I told the bull that he might be a king anywhere else, but here only you are the king. Jung sat up very straight and looked very conceited. Now what did Chalu do? See, he was so clever. He said that you can be king anywhere else, but here in this jungle only our king Jung is the king. So please don't make a noise or disturb our lion, our king. After hearing this, Jung became very proud of himself that yes, he was the king of the jungle. Nobody can be more powerful than him. Chalu added, I also told him that if he wants to live in the jungle, he has to come and say sorry to you. Now what did Chalu say? Chalu said that, yes, I also told the bull that if you want to stay in the jungle, then at first you have to come to Jung and say sorry to him. The lion was so pleased by now that he was almost purring like a cat. That means the lion was feeling proud of himself. He was very pleased after getting to know all this about the bull from his ministers, and then he was making a continuously a low sound that shows pleasure. That means the lion was feeling very happy. And what did the bull have to say to that? He wanted to know. Now he wanted to know that after hearing all this, what did the bull say? Chalu replied that he has agreed to come and bow before you on the condition that you promise not to harm him. See, this was the only thing the bull said. But the two jackals, they were so cunning, they were so clever, they made up more stories and told to the lion. The lion agreed happily. The two jackals looked at each other and smiled. Now they succeeded with their plan. And that's the reason they were very happy. Who? The two jackals. They knew that the lion was now completely in their power and would agree to anything they said, and soon the bull would be in their power too. They thought that the lion is already in our powers, and very soon the bull will be in our power too. The trick was to keep the lion scared of the bull and the bull afraid of the lion. See, what was the trick? The trick was that they are going to scare the bull about the lion, and they are going to scare the lion about the bull. In this way, the two jackals will be able to control the bull as well as the lion. This was their plan. So they went and told the bull that they would take him to the lion. They warned him that the king was very short-tempered and cruel, but he need not be afraid. See, the lion, what did the two jackals said to the bull? The two jackals said that the lion had a tendency to get angry very easily and very quickly. So you please be very alert. Don't try to annoy our king. But please don't fear, our king is very good. If you do whatever we say and listen to us, you will always be safe. Now the two jackals said to bull that if you listen to us, then only you will be safe. Otherwise, the lion might harm you. They told him and promised to protect him from the lion. And also they promised that they are going to protect him from the lion if the lion harms him. The bull was very grateful to the jackals. The bull was feeling very thankful that yes, the two jackals are going to protect him from the lion. He went with them to the king and bowed low before him. He said to the lion, I am sorry for making so much noise and disturbing you. He apologized that, yes, I am sorry for disturbing you. The lion raised his paw. The lion lifted up his paw as if to say, it's all right. Okay, no problem, the lion said. Then he said the bull to sit beside him and tell him all about yourself. And then what did the lion do? The lion said, yes, you come and sit beside me and tell me what happened. Tell me everything. The bull sat down, surprised by the lion's gentleness. The king was so calm, the lion was so calm. After seeing this, the bull was very surprised. He told the king that I am from a nearby city. I am living very near a city. I was carrying a load for a merchant to another city through the jungle. That means he was carrying goods for a merchant and going to another city. On the way, I fell down from exhaustion. I was so tired, I was so weary that I sat down for some rest. The merchant, thinking me dead, left me and went away, but I revived in a few days. The merchant thought that I was dead, so the merchant left me and went away. But after a few days, again I woke up from fainting. See the meaning of revived. I fed on the green grass of the jungle and became very strong. In the jungle, I ate the green grass and then slowly I became strong once again. However, I was lonely, but I was very lonely. No one was there beside me. That is why I was calling out like that, he ended. That's the reason I was crying out in so loud voice. The lion by now had taken a great liking to the bull. Now the lion liked the bull very much after hearing all this. He told the bull to stay in the jungle and be friend. Now see, the lion forgot everything what the minister said. He told the bull that they will become friends. You will never be lonely now. From now on, you must live with me and tell me the tales of your city. Now you are going to live with me and we are going to share our stories with each other. You are no longer lonely. But the bull stayed on. So the bull stayed on. The bull decided to stay with the lion. He told Chang very many stories about distant places. The bull told many stories about faraway places to the lion. The lion became so fond of the bull that he almost forgot his minister. See what happened? The two became so good friends now that the two ministers were forgotten by the lion. Thus the jackals realized that those who try to act too clever and fool others end up only fooling themselves. Now the jackals realized that if you want to fool others, at the end you are going to fool yourselves. So please read the story, children. Learn the meanings, write the meanings in your notebooks and read the story again and again. If you have got any doubts, any queries, please feel free to ask. Okay? No more for today. In the next class, I'm going to send you the exercises and then you are going to write it in your notebooks. Okay? So stay home, stay healthy, stay happy and enjoy learning. Thank you.